Hey, what's up? David Moss Jr. here, and in today's video, we're gonna review the brand new shoe drop from TYR. Now, TYR's been well known for a long time as being one of the top swimming brands, but it seems that lately they're taking over all the athletic backgrounds, from CrossFitters to runners, weightlifters, hybrid athletes, and more. And it seems that the athletes they sponsor actually like their shoes. I can tell you, I've been a fan for a long time. I've been wearing TYR shoes since they came out because I have a little bit of a wider foot, so I require a wider toe box, and it's nice to have a shoe that actually has a little wider toe box. So in today's video, we're gonna review all 4 of their newest shoes. We're gonna start at the CX-2 Trainers, we're gonna go to the CX-2 Elite Carbons, then we're gonna drop down to the Valkyrie Speedworks, and then finish off the video with the Valkyrie Elite Carbon running shoe, which I gotta say I'm the most excited about because I recently just started running. So let's jump in. So the first shoe we're gonna talk about is the CXT-2 Trainer. Now this is the standard CXT-2 Trainer. It's a phenomenal shoe, in my opinion, for anybody who does CrossFit or just needs a really good gym shoe. This is a great all-around shoe. Now let's talk about what makes the CXT-2 Trainer a good shoe. First, we'll talk about the price. These start at $150. Now I do have specialty colors that come out, so the price can be a little higher on some of these, but $150 will get the CXT-2 Trainer in your hand. They come in multiple colorways and they come in many different size options. So these start at a men's 4.5, which is a woman's 6, and they go all the way up to a men's 16 or a woman's 17.5. I'm not sure why we can't just all have like one number and it just like be the same number from like being a baby all the way to being a big-footed human being, but you know, we gotta make things difficult. Now let's talk about a few things that I really like about this shoe. Number 1, it has a stronger TPU stability wrap. TPU simply stands for thermoplastic polyurethane. And basically what that means is it gives you an ultra durable side and heel for enhanced stability. These have high density heel foam, which that gives you enhanced support, comfort, and lockdown around the heel and the ankle, which is super important for weightlifting. Now, if we look at the bottom, this does have the TYR Tack outsole, which is gonna give you enhanced grip, stability, and mobility. If you flip it over to the top, you have more secure lacing, so you're not gonna have to worry about your shoes untying so much while you're in the middle of your workout. Happens to me all the time. And it now features an ultra responsive midsole, and they're calling it the Surge Energy. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but it sounds pretty good. Now let's talk about the fit. So this shoe compared to the CXT-1 is actually 4 millimeters wider, which should give you a much more comfortable feel. I have a wider foot, so the wider the better in my opinion. And it gives you a 7 millimeter heel to toe drop. So that's theoretically how much higher your heel is than your toe inside the shoe. A 0 drop would mean you're basically barefoot. A higher drop means you're basically wearing weightlifters. So 7 millimeters is like right in that sweet spot. A few things I noticed is it does have an extended toe guard, which is great for when you're doing a lot of burpees or you're doing a lot of work from the ground and up. The top has a breathable mesh, so that should allow for your foot to actually breathe and not get super sweaty in the middle of your workouts, but it's also extremely durable. If you look at the back of the shoe, we have a very smooth and it seems a little more durable heel guard, and that's gonna be great for doing handstand push-ups against the wall. If you wore the previous generation CTX2 Trainers, you probably noticed that the back of that thing gets really scuffed up. It's definitely a lot harder on this one, which I'm like. If you look at the forefoot, now I haven't tried these on yet, but the forefoot is very flexible. It's one of the first things I do when I take a shoe outside of the box is I start to flex it just to see how that forefoot is, and it kind of springs right back really fast, which I'm thinking is gonna allow for more explosive movements, but we'll test that out. And then the overall profile of the shoe is that it does have a very stable wide heel, which is gonna be great for planting when you're in the middle of explosive movements. Also really good for control. All right, first workout in the brand new CXT-2s, literally straight out of the box. That was a great workout. We did 5 rounds for time, 5 bar muscle ups, 15 weighted single leg step ups. That was good. And then 1 rope climb, could be legless or use your legs, and then 9 handstand push-ups. So this was a great workout to test out these shoes and see the explosiveness and the comfort. I mean, I always hate doing rope climbs with brand new shoes because it's basically a death sentence. And you know, there's a little black on these, but we're good. Workout was fun. First put them on, they were a little tight. I've heard people say that you want to get like a half size up on this new one because of the foam they're using. But then also if you get your true size, they'll be a little tight for the first, probably week or so, and then your foot will kind of morph into it. So take that for what it's worth. If you are someone who likes shoes to be extremely comfortable right out of the box and you're okay having a little bit of wiggle room, definitely go maybe a half size, maybe even a full size up, just to account for that foam. But man, what a great workout. I'm a little loopy right now, but it was good. Shoes worked great. Got some compliments on them because they're pretty sick looking. And next we got to try out the carbons. So let's go. So the next shoe we're going to talk about is the brand new to TYR's lineup. And this is the CTX-2 Elite Carbon Trainer. Oh, look at that. Take a look at that. Man, that's pretty. Now this is very similar to the CXT-2 regular trainer that we just talked about. The difference is this has a carbon plate built inside, and it does have a few other upgrades that we're gonna talk about. Just looking at these two shoes next to each other, actually, there's quite a bit of difference. The laces are different, the mesh on the outside is different, the sole is different. There's quite a few differences. And what I've heard and also read is that you definitely want to size up a 1/2 of an inch if you want a more traditional feel. The goal behind this is to last a very long time, so they wanted it to be a little bit snugger when you first take it out of the box. We're gonna test that out and see, but if you look at both of these shoes next to each other, there's definitely some differences, and for good reason. This is a little more expensive, so let's talk about it. So the starting price for the CXT-2 Elite Carbon Trainer starts at $225. But when they tested this shoe over the regular CXT-2 Trainer, if you're moving up and exploding off the ground, this gave participants a 25% increase in that, which is incredible. There was a 12% improvement in balance and a whopping 22% in overall performance enhanced. That's insane. Literally going from the other shoes out there, which are all great shoes, to this. And they're saying that the carbon plate, where it's placed and how it was designed, is doing just that. So let's really break it down. So other than it looking very similar to the regular CXT-2, it has this power plate that was designed specifically for this shoe. It's a carbon fiber power plate for improved performance and increased explosiveness. I'm stoked to try these out. They also coupled that with a new foam, and it's a super critical P-Bax foam. I'm not sure all the details on that, but it sounds pretty cool. Now, one of the biggest differences is this only has a 4mm heel to toe drop, so it's a little more flat. If you're looking for more of a barefoot style trainer, this is gonna be pretty close. 4mm is pretty low to the ground as compared to 7mm on the regular CXT-2s. You can't really tell that great, but the outside of this, it's like the same outside as the regular CXT-2s, except there's like a covering over this shoe. So if you're looking for a pair of shoes that's gonna last you a long time, this just looks like it will. Like, let's put these next to each other. The shoe is very similar, but also very different. Both are the same width, but this one sits a little bit higher off the ground. You can kind of see, I'm gonna push this one on the ground and I'm gonna try to flex it, right? Like we talked about the flex, that does not have as much give, whereas this one has a ton of give. Still gonna be a great shoe. Both shoes are great, but I'm really excited to see what the difference is on this power plate. I mean, it's definitely making the shoe a lot stiffer, so that's gonna spring you up, I'm assuming, when you're jumping or when you're doing explosive movements. That'll just spring you up. It'll naturally want to pull that shoe back down to its regular position, but we're gonna have to test this out to really tell. All right, so my first impressions of my first workout in the CXT-2 Elite Carbons definitely felt a lot different than the regular CXT-2s. I'm a fan of the CXT-2s. Like, they're a phenomenal all-around shoe. When I first put these on, they did feel a lot tighter. I read that that's pretty normal with the carbon plate. It's gonna fit a little bit tighter, so if you do decide to get these, maybe go a half size up. But after the full workout, my feet don't hurt. It's not like they were uncomfortably tight, just a little tighter than the CXT-2s felt for the exact same size. So keep that in mind. Definitely felt a lot more support through the toe. When we were doing our warm-ups, we did bear plank shoulder taps, and compared to any other shoe that I have where the toe kind of bends in, I felt like, I don't know, I was almost wearing like tap shoes where the toe was just very strong. So that was cool, that was interesting. During toes to bar, definitely felt a lot more support in the toe of the shoe, almost like wearing steel toe boots. I guess I could kind of reference to that. But I'm a fan. We did box jumps, so I definitely felt more of a spring in my jump, but also, you know, that could be placebo, but that's what they say. They say you are gonna see an increase in your jump. So I'm a fan. I'm gonna work out in these a few more times, but I think they're worth it. I think they're a shoe that you might wanna consider if you're looking for something that has a little bit more support, a little more spring, and is supposed to give you a lot longer endurance. All right, so after a full workout in the CXT-2 and the full workout in the CXT-2 Elite Carbon, I could tell you there are significant differences in both of these shoes. Number one, the overall fit of the CXT-2 is that it fit really true. It does have a wider toe box. It was really comfortable immediately out of the box. Great support around the ankle and the heel. The shoe is really, really durable. We did rope climbs during this workout, and that's always one of the first things I look at is, did the top of my shoe get tore up? The answer is no. We also did some handstand push-ups, and I could tell you that the heel did not stick against the back of the wall at all, which was really cool. So I'm glad to have these. I think these are gonna be my daily trainer. But now let's talk about the CXT-2 Elite Carbon. I will tell you that same thing, different workout, but perfect workout for this. We did some assault bike sprints, which are really, really fast activation, and I can tell you that the shoe definitely is stiffer. There's definitely a stiffness here. When we were warming up, I think I mentioned this after my workout when I did like a little recap, is the toe, like it has so much spring in it from that carbon plate that you definitely felt more support, which is really cool. Almost like a, I don't know, like a ballerina shoe. Seriously, there is a lot of support in the toe. So I could imagine that on workouts where you're doing a lot of burpees, a lot of ground and up movements, I could say that you could notice and totally feel a difference. Now on the fit, it was definitely tighter. As soon as I put the shoe on, I'm like, oof, that might not be comfortable. I should have got a half size bigger, but instead I just kind of went through it and I did my normal workout and it started to morph to my foot pretty fast. And by the end of the workout, it was actually really comfortable. So I'm gonna definitely keep this one in my bag as well on those workouts where I'm gonna need a little more explosiveness. If we're doing jumps, burpees, things where I'm gonna be on my toes a lot, I think this is a great shoe to have in the arsenal for that. And if you were gonna be getting one of either of these, it's really up to you. Do you want more support in your toe? Do you want something that's a little bit more relaxed? Like you can see, I'm pushing with the same amount of force, That's a big difference, right? But it does spring right back up. If I was gonna be doing a lot of running and sprints, I probably would go with this shoe. And if you do decide that you wanna get yourself any pair of the TYR shoes that we're gonna go over in this video or anything from TYR at all, they do have a really cool discount code that I'm gonna put down in the description below, as well as a link that you can use on anything on their site if you do decide to get any of the shoes or anything that TYR has to offer. So these are the trainers. Now let's talk about the runners. First thing we're gonna talk about is going to be the Valkyrie Speedworks. Ooh, that's a pretty shoe. Pretty shoe indeed. Beautiful shoe. And we're gonna talk about all the details on this to see if this is a good running shoe for you or not. First, let's talk about the price. These start at $170 and they have multiple colorways. They do have a wide variety of sizes ranging from a men's 4.5 or a woman's 6, all the way up to a men's 16 or a woman's 17.5. Now, as far as the design, if you look at this is kind of the new look of all the running shoes. Very thick, cushiony support at the bottom, and it's like this big lip at the toe, designed to just propel you forward. As soon as you hit the ground, it's designed to just propel and push you forward, keep you moving forward. What I do like about this shoe is it has an anatomical toe box, which is gonna give you a more natural fit so that your foot's gonna be more comfortable and allow you to run a lot further. It's also gonna allow your foot to take the natural position of a barefoot stride inside a shoe. That's what it says. We're gonna test it out. Now the midsole has Launch PX and it does have a full length nylon plate inside this shoe. And that is between two full length 100% Pebax super critical foam. Basically, it's a foam that's extremely responsive and extremely durable, made for the highest quality running shoes. So it should last you a long time. Now let's talk about the top of the shoe. So this is a very breathable alpha weave upper. And what that's going to do is allow your foot to breathe, making it more comfortable for those longer runs. Sweaty feet cause for more frequent breaks. This also has locking laces and a gusseted tongue to prevent it from slipping while you're running. Once again, the goal is to try to keep you as comfortable as long as possible. Now the shoe you've probably been waiting for. This is the Valkyrie Elite Carbon Runner. And this is the shoe that I'm most excited about. Gosh, that's beautiful. So this is the Valkyrie Elite Carbon Runner. This is basically taking the same footprint of the very popular Valkyrie Speedworks shoe we just talked about and equipping it with some more premium features to make the shoe lighter and springier. I'm real excited to test this out, but let's talk about the specs real quick. First, let's look at the shoe. It's just pretty. Love the colorways. It feels lighter in my hand. The laces look different. The upper feels different. Just feels different. Both of these shoes use 100% Pebax foam. Actually, let's go ahead and just do a quick side-by-side comparison. So we're looking at the Valkyrie Speedworks and we're looking at the Valkyrie Elite Carbon Runner. Very similar footprint, but actually basically the same shoe. A couple subtle differences. One of the biggest similarities is both of these shoes use 100% Pebax foam. And I don't think a lot of people really understand what Pebax foam actually is. Pebax foam is made specifically for quality and premium running shoes. It's lightweight, it's extremely flexible and resilient TPE, basically a thermoplastic elastomer. It's a foam well known for its energy return and its ability to maintain its properties in a wide range of temperatures. Basically, if you want to take a shoe running in extremely cold temperatures or take it running in extremely hot temperatures, Pebax foam's got your back. So it's great that they have 100% Pebax foam in both of these shoes. And we know that the Valkyrie Speedworks has 100% nylon plate going inside those Pebax foam. Now let's talk about the Valkyrie Elite Carbon shoe and the main differences it has. So it does have the same size options as the Valkyrie Speedworks. It does have an anatomical toe box to make for a more natural feel inside and while you're striding. A big difference is it does have the Launch PX midsole with a full-length carbon plate inside the 100% Pebax foam. This carbon fiber makes the shoe lighter and even more responsive. This is probably a great shoe to cycle in maybe once a week or maybe every 3 to 4 runs, but a lot of people definitely recommend not running 100% of your runs in carbon shoes. I'm not quite sure why, but maybe we'll test that out. Similar to the Speedworks, it does have a 6mm heel to toe drop and the same stack height, 39.5mm on the heel and 33.5mm on the forefoot. Now this shoe does start at $250, which is pretty competitive when it comes to the carbon fiber running shoe space. It's also one of the prettier ones I've seen. The laces are different. I believe that's to help lock in place so you don't have your shoes untying while you're running. And the upper, though very breathable, also feels a little bit more premium. The exact specifics were not listed online, so I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but man, I just like the look of that shoe. Now this one is lighter and it only weighs 7.8 ounces and we're talking about a men's 9, just for comparison. Now that's the specs of the shoe. I think we should try both these shoes on. Let's go to the trail before it rains and let's test these out. All right, we made it to the trail. First thing we're gonna try on is the Speedworks. I haven't tried these on at all. This is my first time putting them on. I'm kind of excited and nervous. I have a wider foot, so I'm gonna pull a little bit of the laces out just to make it a more comfy feel as soon as I put them on for the first time. Oh, all right, ooh, bro. That's like the only running shoe I've ever put on that my toes have freedom, like a little bit. All right, let's put both of them on. All right, feels really good. Like right out of the box. I'm a fan so far. Ooh, all right, so there's the Valkyrie Speedworks. Very comfortable shoe, right out of the box. Let's take these off and let's trade in for the Elite Carbon. Oh, I'm excited about that. I don't know why. These are my first carbon shoes I've ever had. See a lot of my buddies, like Matt Choi, wearing carbon shoes from all these different brands. They seem really cool. See how it goes in? Ooh, it's such a flexible shoe. Yeah, it fits almost identical to the Speedworks, which is a good thing. All right, let's go. Oh, well, that just does feel different. So I'm gonna go for a little mile in each of these. You know, I feel like a mile would be a good test run. Plus it gets me 2 miles for the day. I gotta do 7. And I've been fighting off something for the past like 6 days. I never get sick. I do cold plunges and sauna, red light, eat good. Like I never get sick, but man, I got put down bad last week and it's hurting. I still got this like lingering cough. You don't care. But this is my go-go juice. All this is Relight. Yeah, Relight, like the Redmond Real Salt. This is Relight's pre-workout. It's a sleeper. Not a lot of people know about this. I love it for cardio. I love it for pickleball. I love it for basketball. I love it for swimming. I love it for CrossFit. I love it for when I just need that extra energy throughout the day. Stuff's good. Link down in the description if you want to get yourself some Relight on the discount. I encourage it. All right, let's go. All right, just got back. Quick mile, easy mile in the Speedworks. Definitely could be an everyday running shoe. Very comfortable, definitely springs you forward. You can kind of feel that little nylon plate in there. You can kind of feel it just pushing you forward every step. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited now. We're gonna try these out, go for a mile on them, and we're gonna talk about the differences. Oh man. All right, well, just got back from mile number 2, first mile in the carbons, and I'll say a couple things. One, these definitely felt faster. They were faster, but there could be a couple of factors that went into that. One, I was warm. 2, I was excited. I mean, I wear mainly like black and white, so having a pair of straight up black and white shoes, you look good, you feel good, you play good, you run good, you perform good, right? I like these. Probably shouldn't have gotten white and blue. I don't wear anything blue, but those are my kids' school colors, so maybe I'll wear them when I gotta go to school for stuff. Couple of the biggest differences, key takeaways running a mile in these straight out of the box is this one felt a little tighter around my pinky toes. Not quite sure why. It's the exact same shoe. Only thing I could think of is the top is made out of a different material. Feels like it has no give or stretch at all, where this feels like it could have a little bit. So just a different material on the top, on the upper. Still breathable. My feet felt very comfortable, but I'd probably, if I was getting an everyday running shoe, I'd probably go with these just because it felt like a good everyday running shoe. On long distance or race days, maybe a carbon would be a good shoe to have. I'll definitely run a little bit more. Actually, I'm supposed to run around Manhattan in about 2 weeks, which I'm not ready for. That's 33 to 35 miles. Never done that in my life. The longest I've ever ran is a half marathon. So I'll be doing a lot of training these next 2 weeks, and I'm gonna incorporate these in there as well. I will say, both of these, I don't want to talk about the other shoes that I've worn. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see them, but there are a couple other shoes that I've been wearing to run, and there's almost no ankle support in those shoes. I could feel such a difference when I put these on. Both of these gave me really, really great ankle support, which felt really good. The tongue, having that gusseted tongue, kept the tongue from moving to the side like that happens in some of the shoes. It was really nice. Everything felt very comfortable. Definitely have no complaints on these shoes at all. You know, I don't know if I've ever really owned a pair of shoes that does that propelling you forward like in such a crazy way. I will say probably one of the other biggest differences is like the spring in the toe. Like this was a little more chill and more relaxed. This did, like there's not as much, I mean the upper's moving, but there's not as much give. So it really did push me forward faster. And like I said, my second mile was about 20 seconds faster than my first, and I tried to run at the same pace. It just naturally was pushing me a little bit faster. Both shoes are great. I was a fan of both. Only thing about the carbon was just a little bit tight around the pinky toe, and I'm not quite sure why it felt that way, because that was one of the things I noticed when I put on other shoes, and one of the things I noticed when I put on the Speedworks is that it was really comfortable. There was no discomfort from the second I put it on throughout that entire mile. So pretty impressed. Now let's go talk about all of them. Well, there we have it, guys. We went over the CXT-2. We went over the CXT-2 Elite Carbon Trainer. We went over the new Valkyrie Speedworks, and then the brand new and beautiful Valkyrie Elite Carbon Runner. What do you think? If you have any questions, pop them down in the comments below. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you want to get yourself any of these amazing TYR shoes, make sure you use that link down in the description below. Discount code MOSSFGS stands for free ground shipping. Saves you a little bit of money. It's always nice. Also helps support the channel. But more importantly, I appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. God bless. And hey, before you go, if you want to check out my original review where I talk about the original launch of TYR shoes that are still very relevant shoe, including their zero drop barefoot shoe, check that video up and I'll pop it up right here. I think you'll like it. It's pretty entertaining. It's kind of when I started experimenting with some fun edits. So check it out. A lot of people have liked it. It's right there.